Right, hi there guys. Hope everyone's doing well. It's been a good while since I last did a video about fidget cubes and fidget things. I think it's been about 3 months now, and the market's kind of expanded and twisted and turned over these few months. Start very quickly. The whole fidget idea really started off with the Fidget Cube, the official one. This was designed by Antsy Labs over in the States, and was launched by Kickstarter. I'm sure you're all aware of this now and all the features. I'm not going to go into detail with that. These were due to ship to half the backers in December last year, and the rest of the backers in January or February last year. In the end, they started rolling out end of January, and I believe they're still rolling out now. There's still, complaints on Kickstarter about it. So yeah, that was the original design. It's got nice clicky dials, clickable and rollable ball, toggle switch, glide joystick, 2 silent buttons, 2 noisy buttons, a anxiety pad, and spin dial. And it's good design. It's really good design. Unfortunately, they took way too long to produce this, and in that time, it was ripped off no less than 6 different companies in China making copied fidgets before this one even got to first backer. So we'll put that aside for a second. If you remember back, you'll remember the first fake fidgets to hit the market, and this is one of them here. As you can see, and as you probably know, it's made out of ABS plastic, whereas the official cube is vinyl. It's all a bit plasticky and cheap, but in all fairness, everything works and it does its job. So in the beginning, this was sort of early November, these started popping up. And they hit the mass market on eBay and Amazon late November, early December. And it's thought that probably about 1 million of these first phase fake fidgets have been sold, since they were put out. So they were popping up for about, in the UK or the US, they were about $7 or $8. If you didn't mind the weight, you could order them from China, and it would cost you anywhere from $2 to $7 or $8 again. And they aren't great, but they did the job, and a lot of people were more than happy with getting that for a few dollars, as opposed to the official fidget that hadn't even appeared yet. Which was priced at retail price of $25 and the Kickstarter price of $19 plus postage. So yeah, these early ones paved the way, definitely. What happened next is very much responsible. This is very much responsible for what happened next. So pop him aside. After that one, we started seeing these coming out in these slide top boxes of really heavy cardboard, slide off nicely, and inside is a really nice, well-made fidget cube. Side by side, as you can see, they're both made of. This one's made of vinyl, the same as the official cube was set to be. It's nice and weighty, feels nice in the hand, and all the features work. The only difference is from the official cube is it's got a round ball joystick as opposed to the flat travel joystick, but everything else was exactly the same. And again, you could pick these up anywhere from $8 up to $20 to $25 people were charging for these. But the price settled down. The first ones in November were selling for about 15 bucks. Once it got to January, they dropped way down below, you know, $10. So, but these are really good. I had one of these in my pocket for a long time, and it did the job, and it was nicely made. Now, after that, we saw some variations of the cheapy acrylic, ABS cube and the vinyl cube. And we saw, you know, design changes and revisions and you know, things that kind of changed it a little bit. The next major occurrence was when these started popping up. Again, this is from the high quality range, same as our friend here, made of the same material, same features, a little bit more refined and a little bit smoother than the original ones. Works exactly as Antsy Labs wanted it to, except for this one actually has a free spinning dial as opposed to the Antsy one, which they changed without telling anyone and turned it into a clicky one, which I think, you know, ruined it a little bit. But these ones are good. They had a nice strong toggle switch, whereas on the earlier ones you could flip them, you know, you could blow on the switch and it would trigger it. But yeah, so these came along. They're a little bit more money at the time. They were selling for about 15 bucks, but they were really good and people really liked them. And they came mostly in camo style. You know, your green, your blue, and your red here. Or some called this zombie cube and said it was blood spatter on white and black camo. But they were, again, great cubes, and you know, a lot were sold and are still selling now. This is a revision 2 cube. We're now up to revision 6, and the latest one that's just come out now on eBay and Amazon has a flat travel joystick, so it does move across the surface flat, unlike this one, which is on a ball that tilts when you move it. I don't really care. I mean, I don't mind either. In fact, I'm quite a fan of the cheaper ones, which you can push down like a button. But yeah, so revision 6, I don't have one yet, but I have one incoming at some point. And they've made some big changes to how it works and made it very much more like the official cube, but they still aren't going to make this clicky, which is a good thing in my opinion. So that was kind of the 3 initial fake fidgets that came along. Now after that we started getting some odd listings popping up, and suddenly we started seeing what was called, or what I kind of branded myself, midget fidgets. And midget fidgets are these. They're much smaller and they work beautifully. All the features, again, as you get with any of the cubes. They've got really great clunky buttons. Love that button on there. Dial spin, button depresses. You got 2 silent buttons, and then your other buttons, and your spin dial and everything else. And these popped up, and they came out in the yellow colours as well. And there was about 20 odd colours available, and they didn't really sell that well. And then suddenly they kind of went viral. And I got 6 or 8 of these. Direct from China when they very first came out, and I paid less than $4 per cube. Now once these eventually went stellar, it kicked the price up, and the prices were going up almost, you know, 10 or 15 cents a day almost, you know, it was that kind of rate. And they went all the way up to about $12. I think I even saw some for sort of 15. But these are incredible cubes. I love the Midget Fidget, as you've seen in my other videos. It is by far my favourite cube. Now this is actually the one that I carry in my pocket, and have carried in my pocket since I first showed you this back in December, I think, or January. It's a bit bashed up, it's got a few scratches and whatnot, you know, the joystick is starting to, you know, peel there. The toggle switch has loosened up to a point where it doesn't really make any noise anymore. But it's still fun, and I still, you know, it de-stresses me every day. The only thing that's broken on it is the lanyard. And really, no one really cares about the lanyard, although it does have a very handy lanyard loop there that a lot, well, in fact all the other fidget cubes don't have. So, you know, those popped up. And then finally the Antsy Lab cube came along, and some people were happy with it, some people were pissed at it, but generally it was well reviewed, and people liked it. And then we started saying something along the same, obviously from the same idea as the Midget Fidgets here. Someone invented the micro fidget. It's just 22 millimeters cubed. It's fully working. The joystick depresses nicely, it makes a nice click, and it moves around freely. You got your five clicky buttons, sorry, 5 clicky buttons on this one. Spin dial, everything else. It's made of the same high quality vinyl as these cubes here, and they were selling for, I think, about $2.95 or something, anywhere up to about $5 maximum. And they just make great little, you know, pocket toys or desk toys, or put them on your keychain or whatever. I think these are awesome. Unfortunately, not many people are selling these anymore, nor the Midget Fidgets, but you can still get them, and they're definitely worth, if you want something really discreet, these are really worth, you know, $4 or $5 to get one. Anyway, that's Fidget Cubes. So that's kind of where I left off earlier in the year, and I did various reviews and whatnot. So in the meantime, let's push all of those out the way. What happened next? Well, what happened next was people started making spinner fidgets, or fidget spinners, sorry. And initially people were making them their own, using skateboard ball bearings and 3D printing them, like this one. This one I made myself today. It's made of PLA, and it's got 4 high quality bearings in there. It spins pretty well. And so yeah, I mean, you can buy sets of 8 ball bearings, or sorry, skate bearings, for 4 or 5 quid. And to print this, it used less than 2 meters of filament, so yeah, less than 50p or 50 cents to make on your 3D printer, or you can order it from 3D Hubs or somewhere like that who will do them for you. They went stellar and became a real you know, seller, and so along came the made ones, made in China. Now this is one that I picked up. I picked this one specifically for one reason. First thing to note is the packaging. You see is very similar to the fake Fidget Cube packaging, but we'll open this one up. This I paid about I think it was about pounds UK, so about $6.50 US. Now the reason I picked this one, I've made a whole ton of my own ones, and the reason I picked this one is because it's got LEDs built into it, so when you spin it, it kind of flashes away. I thought, okay, well, that's going to be interesting, because balance is key on these spinners. You really need the good balance there, and fitting, you know, electronics into those and keeping the balance must have been quite a task. But anyway, I got it. I paid a small price for it. I actually bought it in a physical store rather than online, this one. And when you spin it, all the LEDs light up, and it just goes, and it goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and you can balance it on your finger, you can spin it on the table, and it just keeps on going. It goes for about 4 or 5 minutes with a full spin. So that's great. I love these, but they are now everywhere. You can get them for just a few dollars, or like I say, you can make them if you've got a 3D printer, or you can have them made through Thingiverse and 3D Hubs. So spinners, yeah, they are kind of one of the most popular things now, particularly because in schools, particularly here in the UK, and I heard stories about it in the US as well, schools are actually banning these from the classroom because of the clicking and whatnot disturbing other kids, and people were taking these into exam rooms, and you know, they'd be clicking away and it'd be distracting other students. So a lot of schools ban these, and so rather than those, they kind of went for more discreet options like the spinner and other little bits. So that's the spinner done. The next one to come along was kind of the obvious evolution of the Fidget Cube, and that's the fidget pad. Now, this hasn't been out long now. These ones were sent to me by the guys at Store 24 UK. Now, these are advertised online and they look different, and the packaging varies, as you can see there. These are from the same seller, same maker, and the packaging differs. But they are literally all made by the same factory because they're all identical. I've seen a load of these and they are absolutely identical. So I'll break this one out and we'll have a quick look. Now, there you go, that's your joystick. It's not quite flat travel, but it's a flatter travel joystick than the Fidget Cubes, or the fake fidgets. You got your buttons. You got one silent one on the bottom, one silent on the top, and then the buttons on the sides is what everyone wanted on the Fidget Cube, and they behave like a like a pen, as you'd press the button to to use your pen. And they latch nicely and make a nice loud click, but also on the side they still work. They've got really good springy on the silent ones, and you can fidget away silently. There's also very difficult to accidentally click a clicky button when you're using the silent ones because they're nicely spaced. Now on the sides, on this one you've got two independent rollers, and they click as they go round. They're really nice. You can roll them both at the same time, so that's a really cool feature. This side is what they're calling a massage wheel, and rather than the pad that you get on the Fidget Cubes, they just rub. You can just run your finger backwards and forwards over that. It's got some dimples on it, and it actually works pretty well. And of course, next to that, they've used a bit of the spare space and they've extended it, so you can also use a static dimples as well to kind of rub your worries away. If we flip it over, you'll see this end we've got the dial, and it spins beautifully on a bearing, completely silent, spins like it never stops. And then here is of course the toggle switch, and it's a round toggle switch, and it's great. It is so clunky, it's lovely, it's really nice to use. It's very loud, so it's not great for classrooms, but the whole package isn't bad. It's pretty good for a classroom toy because, you know, half the features are silent. And then finally you've got this one here, which is a bit of an odd one. It's a spring loaded clicker, so you can take it as far as you want. You can kind of pull it back a little way, it clicks back quietly. You put it all the way back, you get a nice loud click. It's on a, I've checked it out, it's on a nice solid spring in there. It's not a cheap spring that's liable to break anytime soon, and it works well. But that would really piss off other people if you were using it in the classroom. So I think that's why it's been put on the side and kind of left how it is, so it can't be knocked. And then of course on the end is the lanyard hole, and it comes with a lanyard as well. Now these are available in a ton of colours. Most of them are on black pads, but there's a few variations. There's some blue ones, green ones, and I think yellow ones available, or red maybe instead of yellow, I'm not sure. But there are a couple available. But these, the gamer style ones like this, are the most popular, and the ones that have flooded eBay and Amazon. Which means you can actually pick up the other colour ones about £1 cheaper. Now these are only, I think these are about £4 or £5 on Amazon. So if you've got Prime, next day delivery for free. You know, it's stock that's in the Amazon warehouse, so you get it dispatched same day. Or you can go on eBay and buy direct from Store 24 UK. On eBay, and they've got all the colours, all the combinations and everything. But my favourite thing about the fidget pad is the pen-like clicky buttons. I think that's brilliant, and that's something that Antsy really missed a trick on by not including that on theirs. These are nice and small, they're discreet, a bit more discreet than the Cube, because the Cube's obviously harder to clasp, whereas the pad, you can enclose it in your hand, you can hold it discreetly and whatnot. It's pretty good, and it's a really great size to fit in your hand and fit in your pocket. So yeah, the fidget pad, I really like it. I really like it. Now finally, you've probably heard on Kickstarter, or seen on Kickstarter, and some of you have probably backed this, the fidget pen. Everyone's been talking about it for a while. I think it made a couple of $100,000 on eBay, on Kickstarter, and it's basically just a ballpoint pen, and it's got some of the features from each of these all the way down it. It's got a clicky button, of course, at the top. It's got a ball bearing that clicks in and spins around, and it's got various other bits and pieces. Now I backed one, and they're set for delivery in August, and they say they're on track to hit target delivery dates. I think they're probably right. It's certainly looks like less hassle to, you know, design and build than the Fidget Cube. So when I saw on eBay one, they just randomly, it popped up, you know, you might find this interesting, kind of pop up from eBay. Fidget pen. I was like, fidget pen? Really? Yeah, are the fakes hit already? And so I looked, and what was shown is this. Now, I'll say, first of all, this is not the same as the fidget pen on Kickstarter. It's not even remotely like it. So I ordered one anyway. It came at a massive cost of just £5, which is $6.50. It actually works as a pen. It comes with a spare refill for the pen. It comes with these balls here, I'll show you those in a minute, a spring, and then it's got a few gadgets on board as well. Now, one of note is the spinner at the top here. It really spins away. The more level it is, the better it goes. And it's pretty silent, so ideal for when you're thinking, you know, and writing at the same time, because it's actually a really comfortable pen to write with. The other cool thing about this is it bends. It's a bendy pen, which is brilliant. I think that's a really top feature, that. But the spinner is really cool. It makes a really nice, simple fidget style pen. You know, it's not trying to compete with the official fidget pen. It's just something different, and it's pretty simple. So what are the balls? Well, the balls are rare earth magnets, and they are seriously strong. Now, what you also get, as you've probably spotted, is this little spring here. And so what you can do, you can attach one ball to the end of a spring, attach on the other end to a ball. Let's pull those off, bring that round, and it brings a whole new dimension of fidgeting to you. The magnets are strong enough that you can bounce it around and it won't come away. You can kind of position it any way you want. Yeah, you can push it there and you can spin it round. It does all kinds of cool things. You can put them on top, and these are bloody strong magnets. They really go. Particularly magnet to magnet is pretty good, and magnet to the pen is not bad either. But I really like this. It's not a big expensive toy. I guess it's more of an executive toy than you know, a fidget toy like the rest of these. But look it up on eBay, type in fidget pen. It's the only pen that comes up. Buy it from a domestic seller, so buy it from the US or from the UK or Europe, and don't buy direct from China, because it will take ages in the post. And you can get these. I paid, I think, £4.99 or £5.99 plus £1.25 for postage, and it arrived the next day. And I think it's just a very cool little design that will keep people going till the official fidget pen comes out in a couple of months, in August. So there we go. We've got the fidget pen, or you know, the fidget pen light, maybe we should call this. I've shown you the new fidget pads. You've obviously seen the spinners. Everyone's seen the spinners. Everyone loves the spinners. They're good fun. The LED's a nice feature, and they've done it really well. It is really well balanced. You got all the fake fidgets. My favourite that stays in my pocket, still going strong. You got your own spinners you can make yourself for virtually nothing, and then of course the official Antsy Labs Fidget Cube, which, despite still being pushed out to Kickstarter backers, is now available in Toys R Us and a couple of other big toy stores, and they're selling them for $12.99 in the US and £9.99 in the UK, in Toys R Us, and you can order those online or get them in store. So yeah, there we go. I'm pretty sure the Fidget Cube brand has been sold, because we haven't heard from Antsy Labs for a while now. So I would imagine they've cashed in and taken an offer for, you know, $1 million or something, and that's it. And you know, another company's bought the name. But that's business, and that's fine. They've pretty much fulfilled everyone, so why not? So that's just a very quick, or a fairly quick for me, if you've seen my videos before, guide to what is available at the moment. And the answer is a shitload. And when the official fidget pen comes out, that's going to be a game changer as well. And I'm pretty sure that these fidget pads and things and cubes are going to keep expanding on and on and on. We're going to see all kinds of iterations of these. But in the meantime, I really like that, so much so that I rate it probably higher than most of the full-size cubes, but not as good as the Midget fidgets. So that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope haven't bored you to death. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much, and I will speak to you soon.